This week we have another amazing guest, and same thing like last week. I'm going to grill him, ask him questions, and then you guys will be able to ask questions. The whole purpose here is to get best practices to deliver to the whole entire group, and that's the idea. Is the more that you guys give us feedback as to what you're doing to win, the more we can document processes and then create more streamlined systems for you, and then you deploy them into your business, and then the feedback loops goes on forever and ever. Sound good? All right, team. Well, let's get into it. I want to welcome our guests today, Mr. Zach and Anthony Amatore. Woo! What's up, guys? I'm gonna go through Zach because I know Zach has done a lot. He's the one that's kind of spearheading this thing. Am I right, Anthony? Yeah. Okay, cool. So we might call on Anthony. They're a team here. They're a duo. They have their own firm, and I won't give it all away. Zach, do you want to kind of share a little bit about y'all's business?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So my dad, Tony, he's been doing this for 40 years. He's had his own firm since longer than I've been around. Really, he brought me on in I want to say it was March, May, around that time frame. And we started talking tax planning. He'd been doing tax prep in the past. He had a built-up client list, roughly 300-400 clients that are in our system. Brought me on, put me in these calls. I started learning from you guys, started learning how to market, how to sell, how to talk to people in general, really, when it comes to selling. I don't have a tax background. I don't have a marketing background. I was a paramedic for 10 years, and then I worked at the local airport and learning how to fly and all that fun stuff. So I've been hands-on with everything I do, and it's not really been the person-to-person kind of thing, right? So that's something he got me on with, teaching me how to do that stuff. It's been a whirlwind, to say the least. I'm learning a lot. I hope I'm learning it well, and I'm learning it quickly. And he's been a plethora of information as well as you guys. Once I got on board, it was a little slow at first. We were still wrapping our head around how to put together tax plans for our clients. And then we started playing with Tax Maverick. And once I got into Tax Maverick, and I'm 29 years old, so the tech stuff is a little bit more up my alley than it is his. Once I was able to get my head wrapped around that, it was simple. Started tinkering with it, building test clients, building test assessments, building everything under the sun that I could come up with on Tax Maverick. If you go, we've got like 3 test clients in there with like a multitude of different things in there. Then the hard part came down to just getting clients that we already have through the door. Our old system was tax prep. We bill them, itemized thing per, you did this, you did this, you did this, we bill you for it. And then we started, I got a list of our clients. I just started calling. I was like, hey, it's Zach Amatore, Tony Amatore's son.
Zach, if you don't mind, walk me back a little bit right there. So where we were at, and I love your story, by the way. And in case anybody missed it, Zach has no background in taxes. He's not the expert. He is not. When he talks to the clients, I'm pretty sure they're like, who is this guy? And which is kind of different than all of you guys that have the practice. And these are actual people that you learn that already work with you. I think if Anthony would have done this, he would probably had the same, if not better, results because he had crushed it. Yeah, because he had the rapport with the clients, right. And so being able to do that. With very limited skills. So you said you started off slow. So you guys have been with us for about 6 months now. When did you guys really start to like when was your first sale? I guess
to be honest, it was the week we were in Texas with you guys.
That was your first,
yeah,
the first time you guys got a sale?
My first annual sale.
No, but like before that, the assessments. When you guys really?
That's a good question.
Yeah, when was your first how like the first time you
because we were doing a few assessments as with our clients that agreed to it. We were doing it for free to be our guinea pigs, and
right.
Most of them were on board.
When was your first paid one? Do you remember what date?
I want to say
because you started with us in February 25th.
Right. Would have been, let's see here. I don't have a date on it. Looks like there's no date to see when I added him. Oh. Would have been.
Well, also a question is, when did you come into the firm to help your dad?
So it would have been just after Mother's Day. What was that? May?
Is that in May?
I think that's in May.
Mothers, do you guys know?
Yeah.
Do any mothers know what Mother's Day is?
Just after Mother's Day.
Okay, so essentially your first sale came right around May.
Yeah, around then. I'd call it June. We'll say it's June because it took me a few weeks to really get on board with a lot of the stuff.
Cool.
So call it June.
Okay, so let's assume you did beginning of June.
Mm-hmm.
It took you guys February, March, April, May, June. It took you guys 4 months to get up to speed with things.
Yeah, I said.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I say that for this. Some of you guys feel like you're behind because you haven't done anything in 2 weeks, and that's okay. Because the reason why I showed this case study and the reason why I give you the time frame is because things can change quickly. So 4 months of not kind of just learning, kind of get the process, and then in the last, what are we? June, July, August. Yeah, we're almost less than 60 days. How much have you guys done revenue, and then how much have you done cash collected? So there's 2 different numbers. Revenue is how much the total contract value of the people that you worked with, like not including the monthly recurring. I mean, including the monthly recurring baked into it, and then cash collected is the amount of money you put into your bank or payment.
Including monthlies, we're at 150 then.
So 150, okay.
Yeah, and then Revenue collected would be 90.
Okay, so how many guys would be okay with collecting 90K cash collected in 2 months, 60 days? Nobody else? Okay, cool. Just Howard. Yeah, nobody else wants that. Okay, cool. Don't worry. Just me and Zach, I guess. All right. So if I was just to break it down, and I did the math already. So on average, you guys have made an additional $25,000 a month with us in the last 6 months. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
150 divided by 6 months is roughly about 25,000.
Yeah.
Pretty good return, right?
I'd say so.
Right. And cash collected, sign me up, Steve. Good. I'm glad you guys are all signed up. Now, I'm not telling you guys anything besides you guys should be doing the thing that you guys paid for. That's what I'm trying to get across here. Is like what we're going to do here on this interview with Zach is I really want to find out step by step what did he do so you guys can go and implement. So take me back, Zach, to May after Mother's Day. You started learning a little bit. And then what was your like first action items? Because I'm assuming you didn't just like wake up and you're like, yeah, let me just call everybody. I'm just gonna look online. I'm just gonna call everybody. What was your process of thinking? Like, I'm gonna go after these people first, and here's why. And here's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, really. So it was a conversation, I had with my dad, and I was like, okay, I think we're at the point where we can start like selling these assessments, at least the assessments, just to see what we can do with them, with real life like cases. Because like you can test client all you want all day, but it's controlled. You control the source and all the resources and stuff like that. But when you have a real person with a real problem, it's out of your hands, and now you have to figure it out. So what we did was we took a look at our system. We took a look back at the folks that hadn't wrapped up 23. And our first thing was let's get them in so we can wrap up their 23 returns, period, just so we can move them forward, get them on to 24, and we can talk 2024 planning. It eventually spiraled into, oh, you guys are offering tax planning? Well, are you able to help me for 2023? Well, it's like, yes, to an extent. And that's pretty much how it spiraled from there. Is 90% of these plans that we're doing are 2023 plans. There's probably 3 or 4 that are done with 23, and they're like, okay, let's talk 24 and get 24's plan in action. Well, it's like those ones are fun because then there's a lot more you can actually do with them.
So you're saying how many of the 150? How many are like assessments? Like how many clients did you guys get? Is it like 20, 15?
So we've got 20 clients on assessments.
20 clients. Okay.
Yeah.
Of the 20, how many of them are doing kind of like backdated tax planning? 23 tax planning.
17.
Okay, so
yeah,
pretty like 90%. So 17 out of the 20 are doing last year's tax planning today, like kind of like a backdated S corp, things like that, right?
Right. Yeah.
Kind of okay.
The simple stuff. Yeah, they're not getting anything crazy done. We actually finished one guy already for 23. We're talking about 24 soon. He just did a cost seg and whatnot. So
okay, cool. So the majority of the people are actually you're still looking back for them and still doing the tax planning for last year.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
I can't wait to actually pivot to 24 because then we can do some more damage.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, cool. Yeah, keep going. Go ahead. So you were saying the first people you went after were the people that hadn't filed in 23.
Right.
So you're like, those are my hit. That's essentially my hit list, if you will.
Yeah.
Of the people that I'm going to go and start to target first. And what was the rationale behind those people? Why those people versus anybody else?
Because everybody else was already saddled for 23. We have more time for 24. They're the ones that are dropping the ball and or are a mess, and they know they're a mess and they know they need fixed, but sometimes they need a little bit of hand holding. And the way to spin it is to offer them the tax planning so they can get that hand holding. And then they feel like they're not in the dark and they want to do it. And then you show them a little bit of how much they can save, and they don't really tend to flinch at it. Well, yeah, let's do that. And let's go from there. It's like, okay, we'll get this stuff handled. You got to handle some stuff on your end. And then, meet back with us in a week. We'll get this done for you before your deadline. And then we're going to need to talk to you about 24 because we can save you a whole heck of a lot more. And if we're going to be helping you with this and that and this and that into the 24 year, you're going to have to pay a little bit more for 24. So it's kind of just building off of itself from that point. And then the folks that were already done for 23, they're not a priority at the moment. I'd love to get some 24 clients in to talk tax planning, but we've got a team down in our physical office location, 2 ladies down there that do the work. And they're just hammering out the 23 stuff to try to help us get them cleaned up. It was, I think, a total of 70 clients. 20 of them bid on tax planning for 23. I called all of them, most of them, I think, if not all of them.
So talk me right there. So you said 300 people.
Mm-hmm.
You said there was 300 client list, right?
Yeah.
You guys have a base of 300 clients. And then you said 70 people. What does that represent? The 70 people?
So that's the 70 people that are behind the ball. They're
still
working on 23. They haven't gotten us their info. They haven't gotten in, whatever the case is.
Got it. So the 70 people became your target.
Correct. Yeah.
To offer tax planning to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So of those 70 people, did you walk me through kind of the process? Because that's a lot of people that you probably have to reach out to. So you had to have like a system behind it. So what was your first what was your first thing? Did you send them an email first? Did you text them first? Did you just reach out to them and call them?
No, I just reached out and called.
Tell me how that went. Tell me the script.
Yeah, we've got a list in alphabetical order through our CRM, and you just click on them. There's a phone number. You call them. If they answered, great. Hey, let's get in, let's get a meeting so we can talk about your 23 returns. We'd also like to talk to you about tax planning. And yeah, sure, that's great. We'll get on. They get in. We do that conversation, whatever. If they don't answer, we leave a voicemail. I believe I left of the 70, I left 10 voicemails. I believe, now this was months ago, I believe most of them called me back.
Okay.
And we got them in.
And what did that call look like? So you had 20 people. You outbound dialed every single one of them, and the script kind of went like this: "Hey, my name is Zach. I'm with this company." And what was that like? How did you introduce them into tax planning?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So I gave them a call. If they answered, "Hi, my name's Zach Amator. I'm Anthony Amator's son. I work with his firm, Amator & Co. LLC. I'm reaching out to you today to talk to you about your 2023 tax preparation, and if you're interested, 2023-24 tax planning. And we'd love to get you in for a meeting. If they agree to a meeting, we talk right then and there about, okay, when are you free? This is when our calendars got available. If they don't answer, I go from there. I go into the, give me a call back. Here's my cell phone number. You can call me anytime, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, got it. So of the 70, how many scheduled appointments did you get?
So we got 24, I think.
24 scheduled?
Yeah, good chunk. All of them showed up.
All of them showed up. Okay, so
All
100%
showed
show up.
Yeah.
Okay. How many were qualified? Of the 24, how many were qualified? Were there any of them that you were like, I'd love to help you, I just can't help you?
We qualified, I want to say 10.
What do you
Was
mean
the
10?
assessment. Of the 24, so like their liability was high enough to actually do an annual program. We did assessment
Gotcha.
for all of them. Yeah,
Okay,
we did
got it.
assessment for all of them.
So when you pitched the assessment, you said 20 out of the 24 paid though.
Yes.
Okay, so 20 paid assessments. Okay, and 10 qualified for annual program. But you did the assessment for them regardless, right?
Correct. Yeah.
For annual. Okay. Now what happened? You said 24 scheduled. So what happened to the remaining, I guess like 40, whatever, 48 or 47 people? Where are they at in the process?
So they either opted to just do tax prep and promise to get us their stuff, or I haven't heard back from them yet. We're still trying to chase them down.
Got it. So did they say no? Like when you offered that to them, like they were like, no, that's not for me right now or something? Or what was
Yeah, that's really what it was. A lot of them are, at least for 23, a lot of them want to just wrap up their 23, just the tax prep, and then they can look at 24. So I'm going to definitely be reaching out to them once we finish their 23 returns and then start talking about 24 tax planning.
Good.
If that's something they're interested in at that point, that's something we can focus on. Again, the ball's in their court. You don't know if you don't ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Okay, and then how many have paid for annual so far?
So we've got.
You have one assessment. I mean, you have 20 assessments sold. So that's the front end.
Right. So we've got. 15. Oh, my pen's not working. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, good questions. Also, what was the average assessment you guys sold? Price point?
25.
2,500. Okay.
Yeah.
2,500 across the board, or is just kind of like was it a baseline fee?
Across the board, it was just a flat 2,500 for assessments, and then I think we did 4 or 5 the first ones we did for free, just as guinea pigs, and they were on board with it. So
got it. So it's 25 times 20. So you made about 50 grand just in assessment sales.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. All right. Does anybody want 50 grand? Or no? Okay. Just curious. Just keeping you guys on your toes here. Keeping you all on your toes. Make sure everybody's on this. Okay, cool. So then, all right, perfect. And then how many you said sold the annual program?
Annual program, yeah, we're looking at that right now. Count them.
And then what is your average price point for an annual program that you guys are?
Our average price point is right around 15K, but I mean, we've broken it down a little bit.
Yeah. So do you guys do like? Well, I guess did you get the number for the annual program? Then I'll break it down even further.
Yeah. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 paid already?
Yes.
Well, I mean, that's like upfront.
6 total paid. 2 are on a fee structure.
Got it. So the 6 that paid, they paid in full.
Yes.
Okay, so 6 paid in full, pay in full, and then 8, 2 payment plans, right?
Correct.
All right, and this, just so you guys know, that is monthly recurring. In case you didn't know, that's part of monthly recurring stuff. Payment plans, okay, and then when you say 6 paid in full, did they pay 15,000 plus the 2,500, or did you credit them the 2,500 to the 15,000?
So we did credit them, yeah.
Okay, so they paid 15,000 full, but they paid 12,500 on the call or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. So 6, 12 paid in full, 25. And then what's the 2 payment plans? What does those look like?
So we're trying to get them, because it's for 23, we're trying to get them to finish paying it before 1/1 of 25. Because when we talk 24, we're gonna they'll be double stacked on their monthly. And then again, we roll into 25, now they'll be triple stacked on their monthly. It's like, we don't want to do that. You guys don't want to do that. You guys are gonna be paying more monthly than it would be if you just paid us upfront in full. And they're like, oh, okay, well, let's take a look and see what we can do. The big thing is they're not very liquid because they've sunk a good chunk of money into their they've got a defined benefit plan.
Okay.
So we're trying to help them either get some of that money out or work with them so where their monthly payment's actually not going to sink them.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, cool. So what does their monthly look like? What's their monthly payment look like right now?
No problem. Let's see. It's like 37.50 around that spectrum.
37.50 a month?
Yeah, 15K over 4 months. That's each, because we've got them both on a $15,000 plan. Um,
3750. Who would be okay with an extra 3750 a month? Anybody else besides me? All right, type me in the chat, yeah, because I have to meet everybody. Sometimes people jump in and their audio's all over the place. All right, hey, there's Charles, Edson. Good to see you guys. I guess this was worth coming to. Love it. All right, cool. Anything else that I'm missing here, Zach, that I need to that we haven't talked about, or I didn't ask you that you did differently to get these clients?
so two things. If you have a client base, you have a warm audience, just pick up the phone and call them. The answer's already no.
Okay.
What's the worst they're going to say to you? No again. I mean, so be it. Number two is we broke our annual program down a little bit. So instead of
What do you mean?
so our annual program,
Yeah.
so we divided it into 3 tiers just to be a little bit more inclusive,
Got
right?
it.
So we've got a 5K, a 10K, and a 20K program for our annual. It's just different levels. They get more. The more they pay, the more strategies they get, the more attention they get. They all get an assessment and at least one meeting. The higher you go, the more meetings you get, the more handling you get. Pretty much how it boils down to.
Nice. So let me ask you a question. I'm going to break that down right now. Just kind of curious because I'm sure everyone's like licking their chops. They're like, I want that too.
Sure.
But before I get there, you said 20 people paid for an assessment. Did you kind of just send them on their way, like, hey, go do it yourself and come back to me? Because you said 10 actually qualified, 8 have paid.
Right.
Has anyone said no, or are they pending in the future to schedule that annual program sale? Like, what are those missing?
Yeah, I think it's pending in the future for right now. There again, some of these clients are.
Did you already talk to them and they said no for now? Or you haven't scheduled them?
I'm trying to remember because I spoke to those guys a bit ago. Oh no, those are the guys. That's that company that I'm talking about.
Oh, they're like doing their due
2
diligence.
or 3 personal plans that are kind of hanging in the balance there. We're trying to figure out what they want to do. Really. So
it's not a no. It's just like they're
trying to know. It's just yeah, they don't know what they want to do. So we're just trying to figure out how they want to approach it.
Got it. So that gets rid of the 10 qualified. What happened to the other 10? Where are they at?
The other 10?
Yeah, because that's 10 that are qualified. That's where they stand. I see where they're at. But now the other 10 assessments, I'm still curious where they're at in the process.
So they stayed with us, but they stayed tax prep. They like the planning idea. They just don't have the money to, I guess, afford it. They're qualified. They don't want to pay up, right? That's really what it boils down to. And my dad calls them true patriots if they want to send their money there.
True patriots.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, cool. And those people you did meet with and present the annual program, they said no to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a 50% conversion rate. Perfect. Easy, simple math. Right? Or am I missing something?
Nope, you're on board.
Okay, cool. So anything else I'm missing? We're gonna break down these annual programs right now.
Yeah.
Anything else? Does anybody have any questions for Zach before we break down individually what's in each of his 3 programs that he's offering? Anybody have any questions? What's your guarantee? Oh, good question. What's your guarantee?
Our guarantee is with the assessments, not so much the annual programs. So we build their assessment. If we can save them some money on their assessment, I believe it's 3 times their assessment investment. They get their money back at 100%. No, actually, we changed it. It's we'll work for them for a year for free.
Okay, cool.
So yeah,
service guarantee.
Either way, we get their business or we service them however they want to do it.
Yeah, I love that guarantee. Okay, cool. Any other questions before we break down Zach's 3-tier programs? Come on, guys. Oh, how much have you collected since May? Maribel said.
Since May?
Yeah, since you came on and you started applying the things that we showed you.
Oh, since May, it'd be 90K.
Yeah. 90K. So in May, that's 3 months. That's about $30,000 since May, a month.
Yeah.
Not a bad exchange. Cool. I like it.
Although a lot of it didn't start coming in until
June.
August, maybe.
Okay.
July.
Okay. Well, you guys had a good July and August then. You guys had a good August and July then. Big cash paydays then. Very good. Love it. Okay, cool. So let's break down the 3-tier programs. What's the thesis behind why you guys created 3 tiers versus 1?
Sure. So we wanted to just be able to include more of our clients and help them grow, really.
Okay.
And if we can help them grow, they'll help us grow. And hopefully as they grow, they'll grow in our system. So, a $5,000 client this year might be a $10,000 client next year. We're just trying to help everybody grow and scale, and we want to grow and scale with them. Kind of like what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
So in the first one, the 5K one, we call it our gold plan. They get a comprehensive tax assessment.
Now, is this, just curious, is this on top of the assessment or that's included?
This includes, so we've pivoted from charging for assessments to now including the assessments with what's there. And then
so it's $2,500 for the program, for that $5,000 program. The assessment is $2,500 plus another $2,500?
Correct, yeah.
Got it. Okay, and then what's included in that?
Build their assessment in about 10 minutes. So to get the assessment, they get a one-on-one meeting with us to go over their assessment, to talk about their financials, just pick and poke, throw a couple of strategies at them, see what sticks. They get done for you tax filing with whatever their supporting documents are, and they will get one low-level strategy of their choice.
And you give them the strategies, right? Like you can choose hire your kids.
We give them a few, yeah. We show them a few of them, and then they pick the one they like the best, or the one that's easiest for them to do.
And you use the ones that George recommends, which are like the base hit tier 1 strategies, simple strategies, like Augusta, hiring your kids, those things. Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Right. So I get an assessment, I get a one-on-one, I get one tax strategy. And you said, do I get a tax, like, do I get a tax filing from that or no?
You get tax filing, yeah.
One tax filing?
We'll
Is
file
that
your taxes.
personal or business or business? return?
It's both. We
Oh,
just,
okay.
yeah.
It's okay. Personal plus business. Okay. All right. And then the $10,000 one, what do we got?
10,000 one's our platinum plan. So it's everything in gold. Plus they get quarterly tax planning or strategy meetings to implement and support all low-level tax strategies. So they get access to now all the low-level tax strategies.
Okay. Oh, plus
Um,
all low level. Okay.
Mhm.
Plus all tier 1 strategies. Okay. What else?
And that's it for the platinum one. So they're just getting more.
Yeah. Just more time with you guys and more strategies.
Right.
Okay. And then the $20,000 one?
$20,000 one's our diamond program. It's everything in gold and platinum. Plus they get monthly tax planning meetings if they choose. More in-depth advanced strategies. They get Tony as a virtual CFO if they wish to have him. They get a dedicated tax advisor out of one of us and access to our third-party consultants that we've had or that you guys have vetted. Some of them even get access to you guys.
They don't know it.
They don't know, but they
don't
get
know
access
it.
to you.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, shoot. That's undercharging, by the way. 20,000.
Yeah, we're scaling it low, and then we'll raise the bar as we go. We just wanted to keep
I
it
gotcha.
legitimate.
So I get
happy
with
to
this
help
one, I get everything and everything else. I get monthly. I get a dedicated tax advisor. Plus, I get advanced strategies. Right.
Yeah, and we even sit in on their meetings with our third-party folks so they can have a conversation. You guys have already met Sean, or at least Raul has.
Yep.
He's one of our 20,000 clients.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay, cool. Plus, we sit with we sit with. Okay, plus we basically vet third party, right?
Yeah.
Vet third party for you.
Mhm.
Third party for you. Okay. All right. Let me see here. CFO. Let me ask you this. So the CFO thing, is that like a fast section bonus? Because that's a really high value thing.
That's something we've been talking about, trying to raise the bar on.
I think if I just give you guys a recommendation, here's what I would say. This becomes a 3-month trial to your CFO level services as a fast section bonus. So you introduce them to CFO, but that's not, they're not tied into that.
Right.
And basically it's your $20,000 program becomes your lead magnet, if you will. It's the leader to your CFO level services where you can charge $10, $15, $20,000 a month. And that becomes your North Star, if you will. That $20,000 program becomes the lead, kind of like the assessment is to the annual program. The annual program is the lead to your CFO, and it becomes like a trial.
Right.
And it's kind of like when you get premium subscriptions, and then you have to, like, if you go into any, for an example, if I go to Netflix, if I go to Zapier, I think everybody may not know Zapier. I can go into Zapier and get premium features, and then after my 14-day trial, they're like, "Do you want to continue at our premium price, or do you want to go down to the $14 thing?" It's kind of the same concept for CFO. That's what I'd make a suggestion, and the only reason why I'd give you that suggestion is because it's a really CFO. It's not a simple thing, and I wouldn't just let anybody in on that.
That's in Tony's
kind of like our $1 million advisor thing.
Right.
We're not letting this is like a lead to that.
Right. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the conversation I'll have to have with him because he heads up all the CFO stuff. So I've got no idea what's included on that. I circle him in on the calls when folks start asking about that. So
I would just circle back to maybe, Anthony, a 60-day trial. The shorter time frame, the more valuable it becomes. Meaning, if you do a 30-day trial, then you can charge more for CFO quicker, which turns around your money faster. Which means you can go into, essentially 20,000. You can take that 20,000. I'm just kind of taking it off here onto a side thing. I know I'm interviewing you guys, but I also want to give you guys feedback here on this because I think this can turn your $20,000 year client into $100,000 year client. So just curious, Anthony, what does a monthly CFO look like for you? Like as far as revenue, like how much do you charge for monthly CFO right now?
It all depends on the client's needs. The bigger the client, we look at their ability to pay and what their needs are.
What's the baseline? What's the bottom?
About 10 a month.
10,000 a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So if you get, let's just assume you get 10 annual assessments and you convert 20% of those, that's an extra $20,000 a month on top.
Yeah.
Within 30 days of that. So you take that. I mean, that becomes a $240,000 a year business just on top.
Yeah.
And then the game becomes, how do I get as many assessments as possible? And those assessments, I know my 50% conversion rate will go to an annual program. I know my annual conversion rate is 20%. And that's how you back into your $1 million, $6 million, $10 million run rate. And then on the bottom of that, you just start layering in monthly recurring stuff like bookkeeping. You start tapping that in, and those things will start to go like in lockstep together like that.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Plus
Sorry,
the CFO,
I geek out on.
Right in the CFO chair too. You develop other relationships there with these guys or gals, or because you're dealing at the highest level of their organization in most cases. If they're giving you 10 grand a month, you're dealing with their top staff, and it creates other spinoffs and other projects that they may have going on. So it just becomes a big multiplier, and you become their go-to guy. When they're trying to sort something out, like, hey, we got this company that wants to buy us, then that turns into in some cases $500,000 of a project. And we've had a taste of some of those, and we want to get back to those because there's your big game hunting right there.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's all relationship driven.
I agree.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And then, so just to kind of satisfy everybody's taste for this, what does CFO kind of look like as far as the deliverable?
That's a Tony question. If you can answer that.
It boils down to if it could be a quarterly meeting with their board of directors, and it could be, hey, we're looking to sell. We want guidance from you. We want direction from you. Help us set a price. Help us with your other third parties negotiate the deal. Hey, we don't have legal counsel. Can you turn us on to somebody? We've had those type of circumstances develop. A lot of it boils down to we're making a lot of money right now, and we need tier 3 tax planning. That's what it boils down to. That's where you get into the meat of things, and that's other than the special projects. We got a couple that are just knocking out of the park. They're saying, hey, we need some sophisticated planning, and you got to help us walk through that. And so the tier 1 and 2 are gone at that point, and you're dealing for tax planning for a company at that point, which is a totally different animal.
And so what's the baseline revenue that you'd take someone at for CFO level services? Like if I'm making top line 5 million, do I qualify for this or no?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up. We started going that way, 5 to 10 million top line. We got some $5 million top line revenue producers that they're hemorrhaging money, they're losing money, they're losses. So we started to kind of look at the top line as an initial qualifier, and then we start looking at their net profits to see, what they're dealing with. We're getting more into the EBITDA. We have a colleague that we're working with that shows them how to improve their EBITDA over time to make them more saleable, to make their multiple 20 to 1 instead of 3 to 1.
Oh shoot.
So
great.
it's a different animal, different league.
Okay, yeah, there's devils to this, guys. I know this definitely went in a direction I didn't know it was going to go, guys. But this is, can you guys now, everyone, just kind of just for everyone's perspective, you guys see how this evolves into a really big type business? That if you guys pursue the path of this, there's a lot of opportunity. And I know a lot of you guys are coming out of the just traditional bookkeeping, tax prep, financial advisory. We didn't even talk about financial advisory, by the way. There's like a layer to that you could stack on and just stack cash. And I don't think we have enough time to drop in all those things, but as you guys can see here, that's the evolution of where y'all's businesses go. Like this is extrapolated into its natural extremes. This tax planning eventually turns into almost exit planning, CFO, and almost like a family office, if you will. Becomes almost like a virtual family office. If you go down the path of the fullest extent of this thing, you become almost like a family office / private equity firm, kind of like thing. Now you don't have to take it to that natural extreme, but I'm saying that the opportunity here is pretty vast. It's a huge opportunity you guys are tapping into. So again, I want to thank Zach and Anthony Amatore. Congratulations, you guys. You guys rock. Let's give them a round of applause, everybody, for taking action.
We got to give kudos to Daniel and his organization. They've got the chassis that will help you build this. Because we've always had bits and pieces before, but now with you guys, we have the chassis now. It's like a video game. We're going to go to level 10, and there's no one stopping us other than ourselves at this point. And everybody on this call can do the same thing because they're using your chassis.
There you go. Just plug into the system.
Yep.
All righty,
guys.
Plug
and play, as they say, right?
I won't set false expectations here. You said it. I didn't. Guys, well, thank you so much for joining us for our Marketing Monday. This is